In today's video, we're going to be taking a look at the MeshForce M3 whole home Wi-Fi mesh system. Welcome to the channel. My name is Tony, and if this is your first time here, please consider subscribing and hit that little bell so that you're alerted to when I release new content. In the efforts of full disclosure, MeshForce did send me this unit free of charge. However, they are not reviewing or editing the content before it's published. All the opinions you hear are those of my own. Now stay tuned to the end of the video for a special bonus. That being said, let's get started. The MeshForce M3 in Midnight Black is currently available on Amazon for $175 at the time of this recording. If you're interested in this product, I'll have a link down in the video description below, as well as a link to my Amazon affiliate store for any of the other products you may have seen on this channel. The MeshForce M3 system has a sleek design and should fit nicely inside any home. Looking at the picture here, you might be wondering, what is a mesh Wi-Fi network? Well, basically, in this case, if you look here, you have the base unit and two satellite units. MeshForce refers to the satellite units as dots. Together with the base, they form one Wi-Fi network throughout the home, giving you a mesh of coverage, virtually, hopefully eliminating any weak spots or dead zones. Looking at some of the features, MeshForce claims that this system can cover more than 4,000 square feet. You can connect up to 60 devices. It offers seamless roaming. It's dual band 2.4 and 5G. It has parental controls and easy setup via the mobile app. Now this is available for Android and iOS. Let's take a look at what comes inside the box. So we're looking at the MeshForce M3 inside the box right now, and I have to say, MeshForce did a great job with the packaging. I'm not sure if you could see up on the top here underneath the MeshForce name, it says Unbox, a new Wi-Fi era. On the front of the box, you just have a nice photo of the system. Hopefully you can see this on the side of the box, guys. You have tech specs here, and it just tells you what's inside the box. On the rear of the unit, it has a nice diagram here showing what a Wi-Fi mesh setup looks like inside a floor plan. And then on this side here, it just gives you some more information about setup and how you can expand with the dots. One of the things I failed to mention when we were looking at the features on the MeshForce website is that this system can scale up to 6 dots. So basically, the system in the box can cover up to 4,000 square feet, and MeshForce is saying that you can add an additional 4 dots to the system. So inside the box, you get the base unit router, you get 2 satellite dots, an Ethernet cable, a power cable, a quick start guide, and a pamphlet with some additional information on how to register your system, the name of the app to download, and where to go if you need assistance. The base unit comes in a nice matte black finish. You can see across the top there's a little bit of a texture. On the front of the unit, you see the MeshForce logo and a little status light right up above that. On the back of the unit, you have the power port, a gigabit LAN port, a gigabit WAN port, and a reset button. The bottom of the unit contains the model number and FCC information, mounting slots for mounting on a wall, QR code for downloading the MyMesh app, and the Wi-Fi information for setting up using the MyMesh app. The form factor of the base unit is very tiny. It's not intrusive at all. In fact, if I put it next to a Magic Mouse, you can see the size comparison. Here you can check out the size comparison of the dot compared to that of the Apple Magic Mouse. The dot comes in the same black matte finish It has that texture across the top. In the lower right-hand corner is the MeshForce logo. To the left of that is the status light. On the bottom of the unit is a LAN port that could come in handy for plugging in a computer or a printer. And to the left of that is the reset button. The back of the dot has a built-in power plug, the model information along with the FCC information. Okay guys, so I have the MeshForce M3 router plugged into power, and I also have an Ethernet connected to the WAN port, which is I'm just plugging into a port on my existing network switch. So it's going to be getting an address dynamically. Now on the front of the unit, I don't know if you can see that, but there's a solid green light. Prior to plugging in the WAN port, the light was flashing, so I guess now that we have established a link, we have a solid green light, so we're ready to begin the setup process. For the purpose of this video, I already went ahead and downloaded the MyMesh app to save some time. I've launched it, and you can see on my iPhone screen, the first thing it wants me to do is to allow notifications. So we're going to go ahead and do that. And here it says connect to the Wi-Fi network of a Mesh Wi-Fi device. Tap settings and then go to Wi-Fi. Okay, so we basically have to go to our settings app and connect to the Wi-Fi of the device. And here it is. It says My Mesh followed by a series of letters and numbers. We're going to enter the password, and that can be found on the bottom of the unit. So let me do that now. And hopefully I didn't mistype that. Okay, now that we're connected, I'm just going to assume I go back to the MyMesh app. And there we go. The best Wi-Fi coverage system. Welcome to MyMesh. Let's hit the setup button. And it says the mesh point is identifying your connection type, and it's correct. It found it as a dynamic IP. Now, if you have a Pppoe connection, and that is if your provider gave you a username and password, you have the option of setting up with Pppoe. And at the bottom, it says here, you could even see that under the next button, it says incorrect detection. Choose your connection type manually. So you have the option of choosing your connection type there should the system not detect the proper type. But I'm sure it would. In any case, let's go ahead and hit the next button. And it says change your Wi-Fi name and password. So we're going to just enter M3 test Wi-Fi. And we'll just put in a password now of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 to keep it simple. And we'll say OK. And on the bottom of the screen, it says creating a Wi-Fi connection. Please wait. We have the green check mark. It says successfully. Please reconnect to the Wi-Fi named M3 test Wi-Fi with the current password that you just created. So let's go do that. Let's go back to settings. And let's look for My Test Wi-Fi. There it is. And we'll put in the password 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And we'll say join. And now we are connected. Awesome. Let's do a speed test and see what kind of speeds we're getting. Now remember, I am in a double NAT situation because the router is getting a dynamic IP off of my existing network. So let's see what kind of speeds we get under those circumstances. And there you go, 112 download and 265 upload. Pretty respectable, especially since we're in a double NAT situation and there are other SSIDs close by in the home. Okay, let me go ahead and plug in the dots and see if they come online. Oh, here we go. How to add other mesh points in the kit. You do not need to manually add the other mesh points to the kit. They will be connected automatically as long as you place them on proper locations and power them on. So let's hit next. And let me go ahead and plug in the next mesh point. I'll be right back. Okay, I have the mesh unit plugged into the wall. Let's hit next. I guess I jumped ahead. Check the connection status based on the color of the LED indicator. So green means you have an excellent connection. Yellow is a fair connection, and they're basically telling you if it's yellow, move it closer to another mesh point, and red is disconnected and move it closer to another mesh point. So that's a good guide, a good legend to go by. I'm not going to go over and check it. I'm going to assume it booted up and it's green, so I'm going to say okay. And now I'm being prompted to log into the router to manage it from anywhere, and you're given the option of Google+, Facebook, Twitter, or other. For right now, I'm going to bypass that step. I was going to mention that later on in the video. So there we go. You can see on my iPhone screen that we have the routers green and we have the mesh dot also came up online. So the only one that's red is the second dot, which I have not plugged in yet. So let me go ahead and do that. I'll be right back. Okay, so now we have the router connected and both dots, and you can see it's forming the mesh network on the screen. Let's look through the settings and see what other options we have. So we can go through our wireless settings, and it basically just shows you the name of the Wi-Fi and the password, and obviously gives you the option up top to share that out. We're not going to do that right now. We can create a guest network. Let me turn that on and see what happens. And then basically it's as simple as putting in the Wi-Fi guest name, creating the password, and then it also gives you the option of how long you want the guest network to be valid. So let's see what the options are. 4 hours, 8 hours are always valid. So that's a pretty cool feature. We have parental controls. Parental controls enables you to specify whether children's devices such as computers and tablets can connect to the internet. We can add multiple devices to one group and control internet access by group. So that's pretty cool. We're not going to do that right now, but it's cool that that feature exists. We can look at the internet settings, and here you have your connection type, and I'm assuming, yep, you can change your connection type here if need be. Very nice. You have QoS, quality of service, where the router prioritizes smooth gaming and web browsing. So we're going to leave that turned off for now. If we wanted to scale up, remember I said earlier you can add up to 6. You can have a total of 6 dots on the M3 system. I guess here's where you would add the additional dots. Fast roaming, we can enable fast roaming. This function allows one mesh to hand over clients quickly to another. If the operating system of your client does not support quick handover, iOS 4 and earlier, you are recommended to disable this function. So you can enable this or disable this based on your own environment. Capacity-oriented mode. It's enabled by default. It says enable this function when over 30 clients connect to your mesh Wi-Fi network at a time. And then Smart Assistant, let's see what that is. With this function enabled, the Smart Assistant connects your device to 2.4 gigahertz Wi-Fi network for 30 minutes to help you discover and install smart devices that only support 2.4 Wi-Fi network at your home. That's interesting. Now I have had smart devices where I had to turn off my 5G band in order to get them to connect to the 2.4. So I'm assuming that that's what this is referring to, and if that is, that's really, really cool. It also has the option to set up port forwarding. It supports UPnP, and it's actually enabled by default. I'm going to disable that for now. I'm not a fan of UPnP enabled. Looks like it has a DHCP server option. Configure the IP addresses assigned to your network devices. That's interesting. There's a DNS configuration option, so you could choose automatic or set it manually. That's pretty cool. Firmware upgrade, and it shows the 3 devices and the current version of the firmware. At the bottom, it gives you the option to detect the latest firmware, so let's give it a look. And it's confirming that we're running the latest version of the firmware, so that's good. Oop, just double checking on the dots. Yep, and the dots are also running the latest version. And finally, there's a maintenance schedule. Let's see what that's about. So it has a system reboot time and days it would be effective on, and then there's a delay reboot. Delay reboot when exchanging data with the device at greater than 3 kilobits per second. Okay, now what I was looking for is a software reset, because I want to actually reset this device back to factory defaults, but I don't see it. So I guess the option for that is just the little reset button, the hard reset on the back of the device that I showed you earlier. And we'll go back to our main screen, and you can see the data usage up and down, showing us 1 connected device. Pretty cool. Let's click on the little user icon. Log in to manage the router anytime, anywhere. Yep, and this is what popped up before. If you log in using, I guess it was saying Gmail, Facebook. I'm not sure if it said Twitter or not, I don't recall. But you could basically remotely manage your Wi-Fi. But we're not going to do that right now. But that's pretty much it. The setup was really straightforward and simple. And outside on the box, it says set up in 5 minutes. And if all you do basically is plug it in and just set up the main network, yeah, you're literally done in 5 minutes or less. Now that we've completed the basic setup of this mesh system, what I'm going to do to put it to a real-world test is set it up in my daughter's 2-story condo. Currently, she's using an ISP router, which is located down on the 1st floor. And in the upper level of the unit, the Wi-Fi coverage is really scarce. We tried improving the situation with the power line extender, but it's really just not cutting it. So we'll see what this MeshForce system can do. We'll take some before footage and some after footage, and we'll share those test results with you guys in a follow-up video. Now for the bonus information that I promised you earlier in the video. Thank you if you made it this far into this video. What I've done is I've arranged with MeshForce to give you guys a discount code. The original price of this unit is $175, but with this discount code that you see on the screen and down in the video description below, you'll get a little over 20% off, bringing the final price to $137.50. If you found any value in today's video, please give it a thumbs up. Be sure to check out some of my other videos up above. Please remember to subscribe, like, and share. And thank you guys for using my Amazon affiliate links. I know they don't change your price, but they do help out the channel. My name is Tony with QuickTech Solutions. As always, thank you for watching. Please stay safe, and we'll see you next time.